It's Thursday, December 9th, 2021. Alright, there's two things. One is, tonight on December 9th, I was walking, and I was walking with my umbrella, but not open displayed, just as, almost a walking stick that I wasn't using at the moment, just carrying it in case I got into trouble with my knees. And I was walking in one direction, and towards me was walking a gentleman in cat's pajamas. And the cat's pajamas was decorated in a balding tree that I had made mention of on a separate video in that color. He was also wearing, they call these, when you get them from the trendy shop or the costume store, they call these disguise, or Amazon, they call them disguise eyes. So he was wearing a pair of those, although I wear these for regular ocular clarity, from TSP, which is what they have hanging on American Vision as the appropriate ophthalmologist's designation. So that's why I know that. So he was wearing, so he was there, and in formation, in fallout shelter formation, with two midnight blue sweatshirt and sweatpant whatevers. I don't have a fancy word for them. They weren't wearing cat's pajamas. But it was like a navy blue or like a midnight blue. It gets hard. Linda just always refers to this one really dark blue color. Her key up word's always been navy blue. I don't know why. But it's more, sometimes people might call it a midnight blue. It's not a royal blue, that's for sure. That's more of like a, somebody once referred to it as a London blue. If it was like in a gemstone, which I don't have. Mine's more clear, aqua. So they were walking in fallout shelter formation, just as a casual walk by silently. I was wearing my, this with the turtle fur over my cheeks and my head because it's so, over my ears because it's so cold. Well, again, it's not Arctic tundra cold, but it's cold enough for me in this environment. And my long black maternal coat, or maternity coat, which it's not the pea coat, or maybe it's a pea coat. I'm not quite sure what the appropriate sound is without stepping on somebody else's importance. I have such a limited vocabulary on what's acceptable around here to discern different pieces. I also want to make mention, I forgot to mention last night, which was December 8th, that I walked past a man who's standing in front of one of the brick buildings that has a restaurant in it at the bottom floor and then some apartments above it. He was standing there with a Doberman-Pincher. Now, a Doberman-Pincher normally has these incredibly erect ears, and a very, like, regal posture to it. This particular handler was just standing there, and as I approached, I heard the dog's ears were separated and not erect any longer. They were kind of to the side, and he was like, it looked like he was in pain, and it was making sounds like, That's what made me look down at it immediately. Same night, by the way, I was picking up, I don't know if you call it seismic vibration, tectonic vibration. It's tectonic plates, but is what they usually call them. But seismic vibration in between is usually what they call what an earthquake makes, whether you actually are like cognitively aware of. I mean, it's these small quakes. Quakes are whatever. I don't know. I'm not a geologist per se. I mean, I know a couple of things that I've been trying to make notations of, but I haven't met with a professional to educate me on how they prefer to receive and what words they prefer to keep one congruency in reporting. I don't know any, so I'm just trying to do the best I can with what I have available on brief notations. But I noticed the dog seemed to be picking up what I was picking up, and it's the dog itself, the Doberman-Pincher, seemed very uncomfortable, and the handler was not of my familial lineage. He was, I don't know if you say a close second, perhaps is a better word, because there's another word that the doctors use, but I don't want to get myself in trouble, but because I don't have, if like sketch artists, like for contour of lines in the eyes and things, I'm not, I don't have like a big artist colony to use to know what the appropriate sounds are in English. I never got to that level. But he was not, he looked more, and again, I don't want to beseech wrong. I mean, because it's what I say here. It might not be what far, like, it's what I see here. It might not be what far sees. They might have a different way of explaining something, which I don't want to get entrapped in that argument because it's not supposed to be meant as disrespectful. And I don't know the type of restaurant that he was standing in front of. I was more concerned about the whimpering dog that seemed to be really uncomfortable standing in that one position, which I also, as I walk around, am feeling the uncomfortableness in certain different points throughout town, but it gets hard to explain in a way that's believable for certain level of humans that are not cosmically connected with what I guess you could call Mother Earth or the Project Earth, and climate change and what it actually means or what it could mean. Some people are really disconnected and abrasive when it comes to mentioning anything of the earth or environment as it pertains to the body, because they've got some kind of, I don't know, alternating, maybe perhaps thought process, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, so he arrived last night with a dog that was very uncomfortable, like a real dog that was very uncomfortable for being there. I didn't want to make a video just on that, but since I saw a fallout shelter formation, that was acceptable for me in looking familial, more familial than not, than what I run into a lot around here. That was nice, so thank you for being present. This is not easy. So that's it. So it's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies, Broken, and it's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. And it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. On a last note, I didn't, again, Lynn has commandeered the TV and I'm not allowed in the living room, so I'm fall back into my room. But while I'm on the low mat, I heard when she had it on around mealtime or dinner time, that Nassau police officers that wear navy blue with a patch, they put on superhero costumes, and they went to for this thing where they give the children $150 each to go shopping inside some sponsored event with Walmart, whatever. And they featured a whole bunch of those children. I've never even heard of it. My son was not invited into that event, even though his mom's lost her home and a whole lot of other bad things have happened throughout his life that I'm trying to shelter him from and raise him properly. But we weren't on the list of invited. But the Nassau police officers, they did put on all sorts of costumes, and then they went out in full force, and they were making the kids laugh. It looked really, really like a nice thing that they were doing for the public. What upsets me on the back end is the fact that these police officers almost have to buy the public's future affection in some sideshow election of sorts. That's where this has come to with the leadership. Not necessarily, because I'm very thankful of the silver guard that's watching over my children from afar and keeping the county safe in the Nassau Police Department. But it upsets me that the closed-door politics seem to favor these, it's okay to do the superhero thing, and if they have, enthusiastic officers, I think that is absolutely great. What upsets me, though, is the lack of allowance or participation for other minority children. It seemed from what was featured on the news that they've painted it just in one direction. And then after that, there's some new chancellor, some David Banks, coming into New York City. I don't know who approved him either. He's not a Chan. And he's not, in German sense, he's not a prime minister, chancellor grade of anything. So I'm a little confused when I'm in a city under siege and I have 3 silver coins in a monetary system with facial value to secure, along with some other important whatever, based on some bad business practices that have gone on over the last few decades. I'm a little confused how they keep installing all of the wrong people as a feature in New York City and growing the city more dangerous. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. I do have a photo of whatever, which was on a other kind of video as, I don't know, do you call it leverage? Or do you call that insurance? It all is a little confusing at this stage, because of the pathway I was dragged through in order to get to this spot, despite all the odds being in my favor, and despite all of the discovery of all the right pieces in order to help and fix and correct all the right pieces that needed to be fixed for machinist accuracy. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies, Broken, it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.